Hey guys, back with another video. If you've been watching some of my previous videos, my What's in the Shops, you've known I've been working on another Coils O Doom figure. And this video is basically going to do a comparison between the original one I did a few months back versus the one I just completed. Those of you who aren't familiar with Coils O Doom, it was a concept created by the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, I believe by the guys from the Regular Joe's podcast. I know they were big time contributors to the Collectors Club for a long time, and some of their concept work, specifically with the Adventure team. And Coils O Doom was part of the last 3 3/4 figure subscription service in the G.I. Joe Collector Club magazine that came out every month. They had Coils O Doom featured in there, I think, in a couple episodes, but it came with I think it was a 2-pack with the Black Widow Rendezvous figure. And it was a pretty cool figure. At first I thought it was kind of goofy, but when I was still on Facebook and I was checking out the forums and stuff on there, I noticed people were starting to do their own Coils O Doom 1/6 scale custom figures. So I decided to do one of my own, this guy right here. And it took me a while to come up with my own concept because I didn't really want him to look exactly like the 3 3/4 figure. And this is the 2.0 version, I guess you would call him. So I was going to show you what's changed from the first one to the second one. A lot actually has changed, and then some stuff has stayed the same. But we're going to go back into the shop, and we're going to cover my Coils O Doom custom figures. So hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. Okay guys, so here we are. This is the 2 Coils O Doom figures that I've made. This one here is the original one I did several months ago, and this is whom I'm calling 2.0. Like I mentioned in the clip earlier in the intro, this is basically what the Coils O Doom figure came from. He was set 6 in the final 12 collection of the subscription service for the 3 3/4 inch line of the G.I. Joe Collector Club. And you can see it's a pretty cool figure. I mean, it's definitely in line with something on the 3 3/4 inch line. And also it came with the, I guess, Black Spider Rendezvous, not Black Widow Rendezvous. But you could find these if you got the club newsletter. I think this is it. This is in this one here. This is one of the final ones before the now defunct club went out of business. I have a pretty love-hate relationship with the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. I should really start out by saying that. They did a lot of awesome things for the hobby. They kept it going, which was pretty great in some really dark times. But I also thought that they were a little too draconian when it came to like suggesting, concepts and whatnot. They always told you to email in ideas, and every time you would, they basically ignored you. That's how I felt. And I know they had some guys who were their guys. I think the Regular Joe's guys always took their input, and I liked a lot of the sets that the Regular Joe guys helped come up with, but some of them I thought were complete junk. Like the Man of Mystery. It was kind of a Doctor Who rip-off. And I know those guys are big sci-fi guys. I listen to their podcasts a lot. But I thought towards the end, man, they were running out of steam and they could have really used some new blood. And I know a lot of the guys on the Facebook groups had the same complaint I did about the Collector Club, just ignoring the things that they would have liked to have seen done. But whatever. That's in the past now because there's no more Collector Club. So we'll just move on from that. I could go on for an hour about this. So anyway, my first Coils O Doom figure, basically I had this Cotswold head sculpt lying around. I think it's not Rolf, it's one of the others. If you go back in my old What's in the Shop, I'll tell you exactly what head sculpt that was for both figures. They're the same, but they're actually very different, and I'll go over that. But I just took some old junk parts that I had lying around, some broken flamethrower nozzles, a G.I. Joe Adventure team. I believe this is the the laser rescue or laser pack or whatever the heck it was called. I can't remember, but I had one of these spare lying around, and I just kind of did the cell phone clip trick or the portable phone clip trick, and I had a decal, and I just kind of threw them all together. I took a Dremel and obviously made his scar. This head is a little different than the one I used. So this is an older version of the Cotswold head. So the rubberized plastic is a little different, and it actually dremeled really well as compared to the new one. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. But I painted just a set of Cotswold plastic boots with some Rust-Oleum paint for plastic. And I just basically threw them together. This is him. This is just like a few weeks of just toying around and coming up with a figure concept. I did add gung-ho grip hands using the method I've shown in the past in one of my videos. They're okay. They don't grip the flamethrowers very well. It's just a basic prototype figure. I used the Max Steel jumpsuits. I bought a bunch of those off eBay several years back because I thought the jumpsuits were really cool. I like the camo pattern. And I thought this was a good pattern for the Coils O Doom figure. Now, I know his regular outfit is a little different than this, but like I said, I wanted to come up with my own concept. So this was my 1.0 figure. He turned out well. I like him. This is just mine to display. Obviously, the boots, the plastic or the paint chips off the boots really easily because the paint doesn't really bond to that type of plastic. Even though I primed it and put a clear coat over the paint and whatnot. But I don't mind the way he turned out. I might actually redo him at some point because my 2.0 Coils of Doom turned out so much better. I just, again, took some junk parts. It's a 007 set of oxygen tanks that were broken. I cast a scuba nozzle. I recast these, or I made new castings for these flame guns. Put like a gauge on the back. Same trick with the phone clip. Added some ammo pouches. A Cotswold 3D printed dog tag. Now, the head sculpts are completely different. They're the same guy, but this head sculpt's a little smaller and the plastic is a little different. So I didn't have an easy time making the scar. I had some spare parts, obviously, for him as well. And I just have some old G.I. Joe Classic Collection boots I threw on there. Now, I did do a DAM or Damn Toys hand peg system. So I retrofitted this to my guy. So these hands pop off. And I have an array of different hands that you can put with him. I also added a Cotswold 3D printed wrist comm, painted it, and this one turned out really well. I can't believe how well I like this guy. I actually created some more gear for him. I'll put those on here in a second. This is an old, I believe, World Peacekeepers gas mask. So I repainted it, added some straps. Again, I painted an old Fritz style American Kevlar helmet. I bought a neat scar. I mean, it's a real simple one. It's not a great detailed scar, but a lot of the stuff that come with G.I. Joe really wasn't that detailed. So, and it has a silencer and a bipod. I took an AT4, painted it up. I think it's an off brand as well. And, of course, the hands that go with him. So I'll show you some things with this guy, the 1.0 version. Or the 2.0 version. I feel like this is the guy I'm going to talk about most of the time because he's the one that seemed to be the cool version of him. So, like I said, the hands pop off, and you can add the other hands to him. So, if I wanted to not have a shooting style hands or whatnot, I can add the fist. So if you wanted to buy more damn brand toys or off brands for these hands. You can get gloved versions and whatnot. I did buy a set of gloved versions for this guy, but I did not like the way they turned out, so I just didn't include them with him. But the flamethrowers that I made are just a concept I came up with a while back for some flamethrowers, and I never got time to really cast them, but I took some time over the holiday to cast a flame gun. So he has dual flamethrowers, flame pistols, I guess. I think that's so Cobra or so villainy. I like when I do stuff like that for some reason. I added a patch from Patches of Pride to the shoulder. I came up with I don't know, it wasn't the greatest work, but a little latch, or I guess a latch for his flame pistols. I'm missing my words today. I haven't had my coffee yet. But this guy turned out great. The oxygen or gas mask is cool with the dual flame pistols. Obviously the helmet can fit on top, so it gives him a really Cobra-esque Mars vibe. It's a pretty cool figure. I was really happy the way this guy turned out. I like to try to do custom figures from time to time, but you know, it takes a lot of thought and effort sometimes, and it doesn't always turn out the way you kind of want it to. But these figures actually are some of the cooler customs I've done, especially this 2.0 version. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on eBay. I almost thought about just keeping him and then just redoing this guy at some point, but no, I can always do this guy again. Obviously not exactly the way, but I like to share my customs with people. I know I've sold a custom Recondo figure I did, and the gentleman who bought it seemed to be very happy with it, so shout out to you for buying that. But these are my Coils O Doom figures, and like I said, I didn't want to do anything exactly like the Collector Club has done. I wanted to do my own concept and take on it, and I really like the way these turned out, and I enjoy making these. I just enjoy taking a box of broken parts and figuring out how to put them together into a cohesive set. It's one of the things I really enjoy doing. So, yeah, I hope you guys are out there trying to create your own Coils O Doom figures. I used my flocking box and did the flocks on these guys, and they're the same figure yet very different. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, like and subscribe. Please share the videos. Spread the word. I'm always liking the comments, critiques, suggestions. And other than that, guys, I hope you're all staying safe out there, and have a good rest of the week. Cheers.